What an impressive day. The San Francisco 49ers received a series of favorable updates. In the past 24 hours, several exciting reports have emerged. There's a lot to discuss on this topic. Furthermore, we are just one day away from the 2025 NFL Draft. So it's certain that by the end of this video, some new draft updates will be revealed. That's also positive news. Stay tuned until the end to check it out. Now, let's talk about Brock Purdy. The quarterback, Brock Purdy, our QB1. He may not be everyone's favorite quarterback, but he certainly catches attention. We've received some good updates about him. There are several stories and positive information surrounding him. There are about 5 key points to mention. If you're already aware of this and prefer not to hear the details, feel free to skip. Ahead to the next part. Let's focus on Brock Purdy. The latest reports suggest that the 49ers are closing in on a contract for the quarterback, which will have an average annual value among the top 10 in the league. So Brock Purdy is about to become a quarterback with an AAV that will place him among the highest paid players at his position. That's the essence of the news. Information has been highlighted by reliable sources. Let's dive into it further, starting with the fact that there seems to be progress in Brock Purdy's contract negotiations with the 49ers. After months of talks, both parties are slowly but steadily moving towards a new agreement. It's not surprising, as we've been aware of this movement all along. Purdy and the team are getting closer to a long-term deal. Their discussions have shown constant progress toward a new agreement. This isn't unexpected, as we've been monitoring this development for some time. Therefore, there's nothing alarming here. It's expected that this new contract will offer an annual compensation that places him among the top 10 in the league. This information comes from a report by a recognized source that has clarified the situation. Before forming opinions, it's important to evaluate this information with caution, especially considering the recent news about the same reporter. However, according to the reports, this is the direction the talks are heading. Many have raised questions about this, and the topic has come up intermittently, so it's not entirely surprising. However, what was recently mentioned by an executive was that there have been significant discussions steering the situation in a positive direction. This comment is essentially an acknowledgement of the progress made since the last remarks from the executive in meetings with the owners. This development indicates key advancements, reinforcing our beliefs about Brock Purdy. Now, let's move to another interesting topic. In a sports outlet, a player responded to an inaccurate report about a contract, which came from the same reporter mentioned earlier. This situation is indeed fascinating. Several national NFL journalists suggested that this player's absence was related to contract negotiations. It's worth noting that the 49ers player was absent from the first official day of the offseason program, which recently took place and is completely voluntary. Most of the team's players were present, which is an encouraging sign. However, the reporter was one of those who speculated that the absence of the all-pro player was linked to contract issues. In response, the athlete did what he does best, addressing the misinformation directly. It's undeniable that his confidence in sharing his thoughts in response to the previous report is admirable. The absence of all professionals is linked to contract situations. Essentially, the person in question acted as expected. Who wouldn't value this individual? It's surprising to hear that their source may be mistaken. Can you imagine a smile on their face? Wouldn't you notice a playful grin when responding? To a prominent journalist who draws significant recognition and attention, which is completely fair, given that this journalist is known for providing exceptional insights. However, this specific situation may not be accurate. And what about the tight end? What happened? Just a moment. And of course, a shout out to the people's tight end for always bringing humor, even in serious discussions. So there's that. This is great news. I mentioned that many good things are coming now. This is, in fact, great news, as it suggests that the relationship between the team and the player is not tense at the moment. It's not tense yet. The player is happy and didn't miss out yesterday due to financial issues. That's the brief version. We don't have all the details. We're not aware of the ongoing negotiations. What's been heard is that the two sides are quite far apart. We'll have to wait for more information later. Now, let's move on to the next topic. You might have already heard about this, but a player made an appearance yesterday. All of this happened after I recorded, so I couldn't cover everything, but it was amazing news. An article was published this afternoon commenting on the absence of restrictions after a season full of injuries. Here's what was shared. When the team showed up for the first day of the off-season program, this player appeared stating that he was under zero restrictions after dealing with bilateral Achilles tendonitis, which caused a significant absence last season, and of course a knee ligament injury that kept him out towards the end of the season. "I'm feeling great," he expressed. "It's been a really smooth process with a lot of work. As soon as the injury happened, my goal was not to miss a single day of team activities. I wanted to come back and be ready without limitations. And that's exactly where I am now." And this is what was conveyed. It's been a smooth process with a lot of effort involved. As soon as the injury occurred, the goal was clear. The intention was not to miss a day of team activities. The aim was to return and be ready alongside his teammates. This is the current status. It's been mentioned several times in previous conversations during this offseason. There's optimism for this player's upcoming season. It's understood that there might be a possibility of a decline in production over time. That's recognized. However, it's not stated that he will have a fantastic season this year. Still, something remarkable was observed last season with another player in the same position. Several running backs last year exceeded expectations for their age. In any case, it's believed that this player is in a favorable position this year because he managed to participate in some football last season. There was enough involvement to train with the team, prepare adequately, and gradually increase his pace behind the scenes. He had the opportunity to be on the field, run a few plays, and participate in games, establishing a good rhythm during a notable game. Although conditions may have been complicated, glimpses of the player everyone remembers were seen in that game. The injury wasn't related to the Achilles tendon issue and turned out to be less severe than expected, causing only a minor delay. Overall, it's believed that this player is entering a very positive scenario with a full off-season ahead. Enough time for gradual improvement and participation in team activities. This situation is promising and generates genuine excitement. Additionally, there are high expectations for another player. An article discussing his performance is somewhat off topic, but really worth mentioning. Efforts will be made to recover him and highlight the details, as recognizing this is important. The article was written by a contributor from a renowned sports outlet. I was talking about an athlete, and I really messed it up. The article isn't showing up here, but I can assure you it exists, and I will need to track it down so everyone can see who wrote it. I genuinely apologize, as it's only fair that I share that information. This piece covered the remarks made by the athlete just yesterday. There was also another excellent article and an outstanding audio segment. It was genuinely revitalizing. To have everyone back and to hear all the athletes being interviewed again, it simply felt amazing. But you get the sense that they might release some funds to you by the summer's end. Would you prefer to see that matter resolved before the first week? It seems they're already putting forth a significant amount of funds. This athlete noted that he's been given a decent amount of playing time so far. But regarding that entire situation, he feels confident that everything will be taken care of. Speaking about the management reaching an agreement, he's not worried about the contract. He is focused on participating in the organized team activities. He extensively discussed a previous coach returning to the organization and having dialogues with the general manager. There were many positive insights that came from that conversation, and I'm feeling rather hopeful about it. The athlete shares that optimism, expressing that he's ready to put in the work and be the best version of himself. And that's the athlete we respect and admire. No surprises there. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has shaken the foundations of the NFL, Aaron Rodgers has officially signed with the San Francisco 49ers, bringing an end to months of speculation and rumors. The veteran quarterback, a four-time league MVP and future Hall of Famer, now joins one of the most storied franchises in football history, fulfilling what many believe to be a long-held personal dream. In his first press conference as a 49er, Sports 49er, Rodgers didn't hide his emotions. "This is more than just a football decision," he said. "I grew up loving this team. Joe Montana, Steve Young, those were my heroes. Wearing this jersey is something I've imagined since I was a kid." Rodgers, who spent the majority of his illustrious career with the Green Bay Packers before a brief stint with the New York Jets, expressed a deep sense of gratitude for his journey, but emphasized how special this moment is. I've had incredible chapters in my career, but this one feels different. It feels like home, he added. His move to San Francisco reunites him with a fan base that has long admired his style of play and will now see him lead a team stacked with talent on both sides of the ball. The 49ers, who came close to a Super Bowl title in recent years but fell just short, now add a seasoned leader with a wealth of playoff experience. Head coach Kyle Shanahan praised Rodgers' leadership and football IQ, noting that his presence will elevate the entire locker room. Aaron brings not just talent but wisdom. Our younger players will benefit tremendously, Shanahan said. For Rodgers, the move seems to be about legacy and love. I'm not here just to play. I'm here to win. I'm here because I believe in what this franchise stands for, he declared. As the NFL world watches this new chapter unfold, one thing is clear. Aaron Rodgers in red and gold is not just a headline. It's the start of a new era in San Francisco. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.